Welcome to another episode of the Kobe Bryant Film Room. In this video, we're going to be discussing Skap Attack's new video about Dwayne Wade's comments and how the league, alongside LeBron, D. Wade, and Bosh, colluded to destroy Kobe Bryant's legacy. Now, as you guys know, I've been on their ass about Kobe Bryant in that video Dwayne Wade has done a couple of days ago, and how the media completely ignored the news on that very subject of why the Miami Heat got together. Right? So here we are again. I'm going to be on their ass until they cover this, until they do their jobs and cover this. You know why I'm going to be on their ass? I'm going to be on their ass because the youth, right? The average Joe who doesn't go online and who doesn't have access to these videos are going to be uninformed, right? It's the news's job to keep people informed so that they can make a better argument, or they can know and have knowledge of everything, of history in its totality, of everything, right? Everything is totality, right? And when you have an uninformed population, people believe things that are not true, right? So these are just about strictly getting facts out. We all have our opinions, but Dwayne Wade speaking was out of the horse's mouth, which is why it did so much damage and why they couldn't report on it. But let's get into it.
LeBron James has been telling us all about his own greatness for years, while fraudulently surpassing the legacy of a better player.
Hey, yo, Skap ain't waste no time on LeBron ass. Hey, I gotta give it to Skap, yo. He be trying to kick LeBron in the ass, right? And you LeBron fans, y'all gotta understand. We're not attacking LeBron James's legacy. We're attacking the lies about LeBron James's legacy, right? We're attacking the half-truths, the bullshit, the fuckery. And because we attack that, people think we don't like LeBron James, right? And a lot of us, especially fans who appreciated LeBron James during the early 2000s, we love LeBron James, right? I remember when LeBron first came in the league, I wanted him to succeed. Nobody had, I think a lot of Kobe fans initially didn't have problems with LeBron James fans, right? People who love LeBron James until later on, until things changed, the cap started changing, right? So a lot of times, right, like us Kobe Bryant fans, we believe in LeBron James's abilities. We said, oh shit, this Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron's next up. I always thought, yo, LeBron got next. Like that dude in Cleveland, that boy in Cleveland cold. He cold, y'all. But when the decision happened, things started changing. We started seeing a different side of LeBron. And when he joined Cleveland and for the second time and beat the Warriors, we saw a brand new thing, right? Disrespecting of legends, right? Revisionist history. Now all of a sudden, LeBron's more clutch to Jordan and Kobe. That wasn't the discussion back then. Right? That was never a discussion whether LeBron was more clutch than Kobe and Mike, because he clearly wasn't. Right? And now they're trying to reinvent him as this dominant winner of the 2000s, and he wasn't. Right? This player who no one can deal with, no one can stop. and no weaknesses in the game. That's not true. He had plenty of weaknesses in his game. And for all of us that remember it, we're trying to set history back in its proper perspective. Now, everybody's a fan of somebody, right? Kareem fans have Kareem as the greatest player of all time. You can do that. If you believe LeBron's the greatest player of all time, then none of the stuff that I'm saying now should change your mind. Right? But the truth is the truth. LeBron was not a better shooter than Kobe or Mike. Right? Because if he was, they wouldn't give him so much space to shoot the jump shot. Right? He wouldn't. The way you guard LeBron James would be the same way you would guard a Giannis. When he was young, when LeBron was younger. Now LeBron did get better at shooting the threes, mainly because the league evolved. So he had to start shooting more threes, right? But all up until about 2011, LeBron was not a great shooter, y'all. So we can't, us basketball fans who were there, we're watching people lie about history and lie on his game, right? That's what we're attacking, right? And LeBron is part of that media. He feeds into it, right? LeBron was the one who did an interview saying he was the greatest of all time, right? So it's almost as if it's like if Tim Duncan got on TV and said he was the greatest player of all time, right? You would say Duncan was nice, but he ain't better than Mike. He ain't better than Kobe. We feel that way, bro. When LeBron James is great, no doubt. But we feel like this shit has gone overboard and above and beyond to try to diminish every single legend to elevate him. And we can't allow that shit. We won't allow that shit because we love the game of basketball too much.
In his own era, and now it's time to expose the lies. As for well over a decade, the basketball community has been operating under the premise that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade teamed up to destroy the competitive balance of the entire NBA in a desperate attempt to compete with the Boston Celtics' alleged super team in the Eastern Conference. But it turns out that the two of them actually teamed up out of desperation of this guy's mounting ring count. This pairing, of course, stemming from the free agency of LeBron James following the 2009-2010 NBA season. A season where LeBron humiliatingly flamed out against the Celtics.
And I remember that moment like it was yesterday. When I seen that shit, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, when they lost, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, a lot of people had Cleveland winning, right? When they lost and he took off his jersey before, like, he didn't even wait. He took it off as soon as he could. I knew he was done in Cleveland. I knew he was done. And what made me think he was going to Miami, because I knew he was going to Miami. I think people who pay attention to details knew he was going to Miami. You know why? When he changed his number. When he changed his number to 6, we automatically knew he was going to Miami because Michael Jordan's number is retired in Miami. Right?
In those playoffs in the Eastern Conference semifinals in 6 games. That same Celtics team also eliminated Dwayne Wade's Heat team in the first round of those playoffs in 5 games. But just a few weeks later, of course, Kobe was defeating that same Celtics team in the NBA Finals to capture his 5th championship.
So wait, did y'all hear that? Let me go back.
That same Celtics team also eliminated Dwayne Wade's Heat team in the first round of those playoffs in 5 games. But
okay, so here you have, this is why what Dwayne Wade said was so important, y'all. Because here you have it, LeBron and Wade lost to that Celtics team. Kobe beat them. Kobe beat them that same year. Kobe beat him. So Wade and LeBron watching Kobe do the unthinkable, right? Because Kobe wasn't, people didn't have Kobe winning. We just got our ass kicked in '08. So people thought it was going to be another ass whooping. A lot of Celtics fans thought it was going to be another ass whooping.
Just a few weeks later, of course, Kobe was defeating that same Celtics team in the NBA Finals to capture his 5th championship ring, leaving LeBron at the time with 0 and Wade with just the 1. For Kobe, though, it wasn't just his 5th title. It was his 2nd straight and his 3rd consecutive finals appearance. And while Kobe was playing with a group of players which consisted of only one other All-Star in Pau Gasol and no other top 75 players,
So I want you guys to think about that. How many players in NBA history repeated, right, without a top 75 player? How many players in NBA history won a championship without an all defensive first team member? Right? How many guys? How many? How many went to 3 straight NBA finals with a brand new look? Listen. Kobe won with a brand new team after they said he won't win no more. So he won 3 with Shaq. But then he won with a brand new squad, y'all. Brand new squad. I'm talking about a new second best player and everything. Right? Went to 3 straight. So listen, what's the common denominator? See, we need to do common denominators, right? The common denominator for the Bulls championship were Scotty and Mike, right? The common denominator for the Celtics championships were Bird and McHale. The common denominator for Magic's championships, Magic and Kareem's championship, is Magic and Kareem, right? The common denominator for Kobe Bryant's championships, y'all, is Kobe Bryant.
Desperation was so utterly real for the other supposed great players at that.
And also, let me add this too. Isaiah Thomas won 2 championships back to back, right? Kobe won 2 championships back to back. So we got to ask the question, what is a dynasty? Right? KD and Steph won back to back. Right? What is a dynasty? What is a dynasty? What is a dynasty, y'all? Huh? What is a dynasty? Is a dynasty when you win 2 championships back to back? So that means Kobe has 2 dynasties with 2 different teams. He would be the only NBA player in modern history to achieve that. Y'all understand that? The only one.
Forced to sit back and idly watch the legendary and unattainable heights that Kobe B. Bryant was reaching. And Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were apparently both watching and both overcome with the depressing realization they could never reach Kobe's level. As according to Dwayne Wade himself in a recent roundtable discussion, he admitted to contacting LeBron about a team-up the moment Kobe won that Game 7 against the Celtics in the 2010 Finals.
I started cutting my TV off soon as Kobe ran and grabbed that ball.
So the nigga was watching TV and he cut it off. Why is Dwayne Wade mad? He's an East. Why is he mad? Why he cut it off? You think if he was in the West and Kobe beat him, he would cut it off. Right? So I want y'all to think about something, right? Let's go back in time. 2007, LeBron lost in the finals. Well, let's go back before that. Let's go back a little bit before that, right? 2004, we lost in the Olympics to Puerto Rico, right? 2006, we lost to, I think, Greece, right? 2006, Dwayne Wade also won the NBA title. 2007, LeBron lost in the finals. 2008, Kobe had to come back in the Olympics and help them win gold because they got 2 bronze medals. So Kobe was a 3-time champion by that point. 2008, let's go back to 2008. 2008, Kobe beat the Spurs team LeBron lost to. Right? 2008, Kobe lost against the Celtics. 2009, Kobe beat Orlando, the team LeBron was supposed to beat. 2010, Kobe beat the Celtics, the team LeBron was supposed to beat. And Wade lost to in the first round. Right? The summer of 2011 was when Dwayne Wade and LeBron got together. Why is this important? Because during the Olympics, that's when they started talking. And the original big 3 was supposed to be LeBron, Wade, and Melo. The 3 niggas who were on those Olympic teams who were getting their ass whooped. Right? So they planned this long ago. Right? They came in the same draft class, y'all. They planned this shit a long time ago. And when they saw Kobe keep winning, they said, we gotta take this nigga down. Y'all understand that? The time of events. Y'all understand Kobe was a 5-time champion at that point? See, Duncan only won 3 championships in the 2000s. 99 doesn't count, and 2014 doesn't count. Kobe had 5, y'all. 5.
It's like LeBron. That was our summer free agency. Like they were dominating. Like Kobe was winning all these.
5 searching for 6.
Man, I was like, wait, hold on. Now you got 5 and you got 1?
The 2 of them were both watching that series, and they were both watching Kobe even closer in the summer of 2008 when the 3 of them were playing together on the Olympic Redeem team. Both LeBron, Wade, and that entire team ultimately got an up-close look at Kobe Bryant.
By the way, the Redeem Team documentary, they ain't cover that shit neither.
Kobe was
But Kobe,
like,
look, y'all, Kobe's light shines so bright. Even when they try to dim it, that nigga pop right back up. It gets brighter. His light gets brighter. So they didn't cover the Redeem Team documentary. They tried to let that shit blow over by not covering it and letting time go by, right? Guess what? Something else gets dug up. What's gonna be dug up next? Don't worry, we gonna keep this shit in y'all face. Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, Stephen A. Smith, and all you other niggas in the media. Don't think we're gonna let slide what you just tried to do. You think you can sweep this shit under the rug, and I'm not gonna let you. Skap, I'm catching your alley-oop, bro.
It was like, he different.
And it became more and more evident amid those 2010 finals that they just didn't have what it took to reach that level of greatness alone. So it was time to light up a good old-fashioned pyrotechnics smoke show in Miami. James and Wade, 2 top...
And they were the favorites to win the NBA championship. Yes, they were. So now it's going around that they were the underdogs and all that shit.
3 players in the NBA at that time also reached out to, at the time, 5-time consecutive All-Star Chris Bosh, who also coincidentally was on that 08 Redeem team. And the 3...
And y'all, Chris Bosh was better than Pau Gasol, y'all. Keep in mind, Chris Bosh made the playoffs. Chris Bosh was giving you 20 and 10, 20 and 15, shit like that. Chris Bosh was fucking balling in Toronto. They made 2 teams weak in the East. by going on the same team. The East was already weak, but they made 2 more teams out of the equation in order to get to the finals.
Of them would cowardly amass a team that would be named the preseason odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship that summer. Not the Lakers, who were back-to-back defending champions and had been to 3 consecutive final series. Of course, the Lakers would not make it into the NBA finals.
So Kobe was the 5-time world champion. Like Booker T would say that shit.
That 2011 season due to a slew of injuries, including Kobe's own ailing right knee. Later in that offseason, he would travel to Germany to undergo platelet-rich plasma
That's right, I remember
therapy
that.
on the knee, which
I remember
had been
that
surgically repaired 3 times already.
And you know that shit was crazy because we were like, as Lakers fans, we were like, Kobe going to Germany for some type of experiment. Man, I hope that nigga come back right.
In those playoffs, following 3 consecutive finals runs, it was clear his injury, as well as the declining Lakers team, ran out of gas against the Dallas Mavericks. In the second round series against the Mavericks, Pau Gasol, his only all-star and by far the second best player on that team, showed serious levels of regression and decline, averaging just 12.5 points per game for the series.
And this is who the nigga, listen, I love Pau Gasol. We couldn't have won these championships without him, but people are trying to act as if Pau Gasol was like a top 10 player or some shit, right? Which he was not. Pau Gasol was a very good player, right? But Pau Gasol was on the decline in 2011. As you can see, 12.5 points per game, 9 rebounds, not bad, right? 42.2% is bad. But I remember this Pau Gasol, he just wasn't the same, y'all. He wasn't boxing out as much. He was getting pushed around. He was getting bullied around. Pau Gasol was he wasn't the same, y'all. And these numbers reflect what I seen with my eyes. Because I don't just go off stats. I seen the shit with my eyes.
42% from the field. And those Mavericks, after defeating the back-to-back defending champion Lakers, would go on to meet the super team Heat in the finals later in that postseason. And despite Dwayne Wade showing up and showing out, leading both teams in scoring and averaging 26.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists on...
Wade was balling like a motherfucker. And then now you have a lot of LeBron dick riders saying, well, it's Wade's fault they didn't win in 2011. And nigga, I'm looking like, what? Are you fucking serious?
55% shooting from the field, the Heat just simply couldn't overcome the epic gag job by the chosen one, LeBron James, who was the 5th leading scorer for that series, behind Dwayne Wade.
And look, I'm going to say this about super teams. Me personally, I don't give a fuck about super teams. I'm a Lakers fan. I love super teams, right? I love seeing superstars versus superstars. But this was the thing. They killed by them doing what they did. Remember, they were like the first team to do it on their own. Like usually the teams, the GMs and people in management would put the super teams together. When they did it on their own, they made the East weak. Right, so they lessened their competition because they were 3 players in the middle of their prime. It's different. Listen, it's different when you get a kid at a college like Magic Johnson, right? You think he's going to be great, but anything can happen, right? You don't know if he's going to be the MVP of the league. You don't know if he's going to be one of the best players in the league. Yet he has to prove that, right? He could come to the league and be a bust. He has to prove that. That's not a super team, right? That's good. Building your team through the draft, right? I mean, technically it's a super team, but it's more like building your team through the draft. LeBron knew what he was getting when he joined Dwayne Wade. You're getting a seasoned vet who literally just finished putting a team on his back a couple of years earlier, without needing much. You know what I'm saying? So, That's who he was joining, a made man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with super teams because many teams, players at the end of their primes, they'll try and go on to win championships. That's just how the league worked. Dennis Rodman, right, with the Chicago Bulls. Ron Harper, right? You have an older Gary Payton, right? You have an older Karl Malone. Those guys are trying to seek championships. Older Shaq, right? Older Charles Barkley. Those guys are trying to become journeymen to seek championships. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is when you drain your competition and you say, oh, well, I'm going to go play with the best player in the league because I know what he is. Not what he develops. Not wait till he develops. Let's not develop together. Like the Warriors, they developed together. Then KD came. They weren't a super team, and this bothers me because people call them a super team in 2015. They were not. Golden State was not a super team. They grew together into what they were. Super team is when they added KD. When they added KD, that made them a super team because you already got an established star, a perennial all-star. You had a bomb squad after that. But look at these numbers, y'all. Look at these numbers. Dwayne Wade led the series in scoring. Dirk Nowitzki was second. Chris Bosh was third. Jason Terry was fourth. LeBron was fifth. Right? And I had these niggas telling me that it's better to lose an NBA Finals than to not win the Finals MVP. Are y'all fucking serious right now? You rather lose than give up a fucking award that people vote on? Anytime people vote, it's opinion. I just want y'all to know that. Any poll you see, any award that somebody gets voted, it's an opinion. The only people's opinions who should matter are the people who are in between the lines of playing the game. That's why, to me, coaches matter and the players matter. When they vote on awards, that means more to me than an opinion from the media.
Dirk Nowitzki, Chris Bosh, and Jason Terry. Now, at the end of that season, the collective bargaining agreement between the Players Association and the owners expired.
And yes, there's a difference between an opinion and an expert opinion. It's still an opinion, but it's more qualified. It's more it makes more sense when people are able to break down the game from playing within the game.
When the two parties were unable to come to a new agreement, a resulting 161-day work stoppage would ensue, beginning on July 1st of 2011 and running to December 8th of 2011. On the very day the lockout ended at 5:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 8th, Yahoo Sports broke the story of a blockbuster 3-team deal between the Lakers, Hornets, and Pelicans. The crux of the deal involved the Lakers sending Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom out of town while receiving back prime 26-year-old Chris Paul.
Now, Chris Paul was the best point guard in the league at that time. Hands down, it wasn't close, right? You had the best point guard in the league joining arguably the best player in the league at that time, right? Giving up a declining Pau Gasol and then a Lamar Odom, right? Now, the reason why this is key, because that would have prolonged Kobe's career. Remember, when Magic came into the league, that prolonged Kareem's career. Kareem admitted it. It helped him play longer, right? So, just like Anthony Davis playing for the Lakers is helping prolong LeBron's career. Because without Anthony Davis, LeBron would have to do a lot more of the carrying the load, right? So think about this, right? When this trade happened, I was running around my house, and I was saying, yeah. I was hyped, yo, yeah. 'Cause, yeah, 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 yeah. ' we finna play Miami. That's what I was thinking. We finna play Miami. And so when they took back that trade and everybody had to go back to their teams, that destroyed our chemistry. Pau Gasol wasn't happy. Lamar Odom was miserable. And we ended up having to move on from both of them.
To pair with Kobe Bryant
it fucked our team up, man.
LA. But later in that day, in a stunning and unprecedented move by the league offices, they vetoed the trade, blocked and disallowed a trade that all three teams had already agreed and signed off on. A week later, Chris Paul was instead traded to the LA Clippers. The 2011-2012 season that would ensue saw Kobe Bryant return to elite form following his off-season knee procedure.
That Kobe Bryant season 2012, we're gonna go through the highlights of that. But that was one of my favorite Kobe Bryant seasons because he was in his bag. Oh Lord, he was in his bag.
33-year-old Bryant, in his 16th season at the time, finished a fraction.
Hey, Vino. Remember that nickname? Vino.
Decimal point behind Kevin Durant for the league's scoring lead, averaging 27.9 points per game to KD's 28.0. And Bryant finished fourth that season in league MVP voting, while Chris Paul on the LA Clippers finished third for that award. Both players were selected to the first team All-NBA that season, but both the Clippers behind Paul and the Lakers behind Bryant would make it to just the second round.
And remember, that Clippers team before Chris Paul got to it wasn't even being taken seriously. They were a joke of a franchise, right? Now they had a piece with Blake Griffin and some good role players, but they were a laughingstock in the NBA. Chris Paul came and turned them into Lob City with DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, and they were dunking. They were so entertaining. They had the greatest show in the NBA. Now imagine that with the Lakers.
Before ultimately being eliminated by the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Now, I'm also thinking like Chris Paul has become a little bit underrated as time goes on. Because if you think about a point guard, there's not too many point guards better than Chris Paul. I mean, look, from a scoring standpoint, from a passing standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, right? 3-point shooting, mid-range. I don't even think there's a better mid-range shooting point guard than Chris Paul. Now that I can think of it. Yeah, man. I don't know if there's a better mid-range shooting point guard than Chris Paul. But if you put everything together, man, I think Chris Paul could do everything. He was just short.
Series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, Bryant faced down a trio of Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Three future
and most of the teams that Chris Paul goes to, they elevate, right? So I don't understand what everybody's bashing Chris Paul and saying he's washed up, he ain't good. Bro, everywhere he goes, man, he went to OKC, they thrived. He went to Phoenix, they thrived. He went to the Clippers, they thrived. He came in the league, went to New Orleans, they thrived. Right, so I don't understand this Chris Paul is a choker bullshit. Now he has injuries, right, and he had some years where he didn't play. 2 years that he didn't play well. But it's like, bro, like, you know how hard it is to make it to the finals. Matter of fact, if he didn't get hurt, they probably could beat the Warriors in Houston.
MVPs. Yet Kobe Bryant, at the age of 33, was clearly still the best player in that series, leading both teams in scoring while dropping a stat line of 31 points, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals for the series. But alas,
the nigga was still the best player on the court. How old was Kobe? 34, 35? Nigga was still the best player on the court, bro. With a young Durant. Bro, this is when KD was a murderer, y'all.
Aging, washed Pau Gasol, who the Lakers tried trading away in the offseason, who only averaged...
Hey, so Thomas, hey, if you watching this video, bro, we had a conversation the other day about this shit, bro. Hey, KD was young, but the nigga was balling, bro. He won't no chump. So if you're watching this, bro, I'ma see you. I'ma see you. We're gonna have another conversation about this. Look at Pau Gasol. He's the second best player on the team, y'all.
12 points per game the season before in the playoffs against Dallas Mavericks, only averaged 12 points per game again in this series. But what if Kobe Bryant, who is still playing at all league levels this season, finishing just 1/10 of a point behind Kevin Durant for the scoring crown that year, while being named not only first team All-NBA, but also second team All-NBA defense? Yeah, what if that Kobe Bryant had paired with Chris Paul on that team that season? Well, very probably
they would have, talking about the combination of the two, they would have been one of the best perimeter defending teams in the league too, because Chris Paul played defense, y'all. He played passing lanes, so he stole the ball. He was a good team defender. Chris Paul fought a lot on defense for position and everything. Like, Chris Paul played deep. And you know Kobe was first team, so you know what time that was.
Get to the NBA Finals to face down the Heat team, who ended up playing a pretty tight competitive series against that upstart Thunder team, which eliminated Kobe in the second round. But that young Thunder team just didn't have the knowledge or the experience to finish off those close games. Something that one of, if not the greatest closer in NBA history, would not have struggled with if he were in that series. But the NBA behind this bum felt
Tell them how you feel, Skap.
compelled to veto that trade that sent Chris Paul to LA, all the while just 2 summers earlier consummating and even celebrating this collusion-laced pairing of these 3 coward losers. When examining the actual disgusting timeline of events, it is absolutely stunning what lengths and unprecedented tactics had to be taken to rob Kobe Bryant of adding to his legacy while simultaneously helping to construct and build upon the overrated legacy of the self-proclaimed fake GOAT.
Oh, so hey, like Skap was scathing in that shit, bro. Yeah, Skap got in their ass, bro, with both feet. Now, but I'm gonna say this though, right? The media, along with the NBA, I think after 2003, 2004, I think they understood that Kobe had a bad reputation because of the situation that happened in Colorado, right? And so what they tried to do was they tried to pivot, because that's around the same time LeBron came in. So they tried to pivot to LeBron. So they didn't want Kobe to win anymore. So they started, in my opinion, I think they were behind those anonymous Laker reports from a Laker insider to say Kobe ran off Shaq. I think they were behind those reports. I think they were behind the reports that said Kobe was selfish, Kobe was this, Kobe was that. Even though no one in the organization to this day says anything like that. Right? So I think the NBA was involved in tearing down the image of Kobe Bryant, because look, there's a relationship between the media and the NBA, right? They have TV deals, y'all. TV revenue brings in money. Marketability is important. Jordan and LeBron are way more marketable than a Kobe Bryant, because Kobe was not liked. After they said he pushed out Shaq, Shaq was a lovable figure in the league. He just was. And LeBron was lovable, very lovable, right? People love LeBron. They love his personality, the off the court stuff. They bring in the school, all this stuff that they do, that they make public about LeBron when he does something good, right? Now, Kobe had Make-A-Wish foundations and other shit that he did, but it wasn't out in the forefront, right? He did good things, but it wasn't spoken on. Just like Mike. people say, "Oh, Mike's selfish. He don't ever do nothing for the black community." Mike's donated a lot of money to black causes, right? He donated a lot of money behind the scenes, but because he's not out front with it and bragging about it, the media doesn't like to bring up what he's done, right? So, and they're also pivoting from Mike, right? Nowadays, they're trying to dim Mike's light in order to make LeBron shine brighter, right? So now they're starting to drag Mike down because the current guy is the guy they're trying to push. They need to push their current guys. They need to keep the NBA going as a business. It's business, right? So y'all just gotta understand that, man. Y'all gotta understand that Bean wasn't the guy. He wasn't favored, right? LeBron is the chosen one. Well, who chose him? Right? Who chose him? But this is another episode of the Kobe Bryant Film Room, and I'll holla.